And welcome to this first episode of 2025 of Tally Benchwarmers. This is definitely your unofficial, non-expert take on the latest in local collegiate sports, national sports, sports around the bench here. This week, we are again backbenching college football. We're doing FSU football, FAMU basketball, FSU basketball. You name it, we're going to talk about it. So for the next 30 minutes or so, our WFSU team is going to concentrate on FSU and FAMU collegiate sports. So joining me on the bench again in 2025 is our tailback. With lightning speed and a big punch, number 22, Adrian Andrews, who also subs as WFSU news reporter and sports insider. Good to see you, Adrian.
Good to see you,
Happy
Ryan
New Year.
Day. I'm in David.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Our tailback with lightning speed and, excuse me, I just recognized our tailback here is our free safety, who's being compared to the likes of Derwin James and Ed Reed. Number 3, Eric Carter, who also subs as WFSU's assistant chief engineer and FSU sports guru.
I think they are waiting for you at the commercial.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And to my right is our place kicker. I got to work on the mustache here, guys. Who was perfect all season, number 87, Jennifer Tappen, who also subs as WFSU's director of finance. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah,
What are you doing with these intros?
Well,
Coach.
you know, I am channeling my inner Ryan Day, because after Friday night's game, the Benchwarmers, we were chatting about how Ryan Day looks like, from the Pirates of the Caribbean, one of Johnny Depp's last movie, or maybe even with this black Sharpie that kind of puts on the beard.
It was sharp, though. It was very sharp.
So I felt that we needed some sort of, we needed to kick off 2025 in a good spirit. So, you can consider me and call me Coach, or you can ask me if you want me to lose this freaking beard. What do you want? What do you think?
I think it's driving you nuts already.
It's driving me nuts already. Yeah. I don't see how Coach Day handles it. So
well, his is just drawn on.
His is just drawn on.
That's true.
Yeah, it's true.
That's true.
Yeah. So, okay. So here it goes. So it's going to come down off the ears, and it's just going to come down here.
And while David is doing
now,
that, if Just for Men would like to sponsor us, we would be appreciative of that.
Now I've kind of got a little neck beard going.
It's a neck warmer.
It's a neck warmer. That's right. Hey, so we talked about the Friday night game, college football playoffs. Before the holidays, the four of us had some picks about how that group of 12 was going to end up. I'm not sure that any of us predicted anything close to what this is.
Yeah.
No.
We got our brackets busted big time.
Yeah. I think David and Eric went out week 1.
Absolutely.
I did.
I went out week 2. Adrian lasted the longest.
Well, I
went
told
out
you
week
guys
3.
to bet on me. I am, I'm pretty good.
Look, when I do it, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to get it over with quick.
Yeah. You went with
SMU.
SMU and Tennessee.
Okay.
I picked
Ouch.
Indiana to beat Notre Dame in that first round, and no way. Yeah,
way.
that was a stupid pick. Yeah. But I think some of us, besides Eric, had at least a few in that first round. Besides Eric. But then the quarterfinals. I mean, what a game!
State,
yeah, but that Texas Arizona State game. A lot closer than a lot of people thought it was going to be, and that was crazy. Yeah.
Scataboo. Yeah. Love me some Scataboo.
Overrated.
Well, we'll see how he does really in the NFL. He's a little guy, but man, he's like a bowling ball. Remember Robert Newsom for the Cowboys years ago?
He's like Ed McCaffrey.
Yeah.
That's what they compare him to.
Yeah.
If he can stay healthy and not puke and not cramp, I think he'll be good.
Yeah.
Listen, I think the surprise probably of the weekend was not necessarily Ohio State beating Texas, but I think a lot of folks thought that Notre Dame would go down to Penn State. But yeah, it was exciting end to that game. Wasn't
Yes.
it?
Yes.
Yeah.
We talked about it. I mean, both teams' defense played lights out.
Yeah.
2 forced fumbles, 3 picks. Between the two, I mean, I thought this was about just how well just the defense just stepped up on both sides, right? I don't think the QBs really showed a lot of, they didn't really do anything for me, but it was amazing and fun to watch those defense go at it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they expanded the playoffs. I'm going to see next year's tweaks. Hopefully they get rid of that first round bye.
Yeah, I don't like the bye weeks.
If you open it up 16 teams and everybody plays, you play the first 2 rounds
You
at your
think they'll
home
expand
field.
to 16 that quickly?
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, why not? You play the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, home field advantage for the higher ranked team, and then you go into the bowl games, just like they did this year. That'll be neutral site.
I mean, obviously the bye weeks didn't benefit any
Every
of the
single
teams.
one of them lost.
Every single team
Every
lost.
single one of them lost.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even close.
No.
It wasn't. That's true. Yeah.
Georgia just fell apart on me.
Oh, that's
Speaking of
that's
Georgia, what's up
sad.
with Carson?
Oh, that stings.
He's going to Miami.
He's going to Miami to
yeah.
be with his girl, his little lady friend
Hey,
there.
hey.
Yeah,
Oh,
and but
goodness.
didn't it? The story I hear is just the Bulldogs just kind of said, okay, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like they.
Well, the
didn't make
Bulldogs
him
are a
feel
team
welcome.
about loyalty. They don't play in the transfer portal often. They build from the ground up their players, and
Yeah,
if
but
a
maybe-
player wants to go, they
Well,
let
but
him. They don't
maybe
stop
they
him.
just said, hey, he's injured his throwing elbow. There's no guarantee that he's going to be even what was almost a subpar quarterback this past season
Yeah.
for us.
I
So,
mean,
so I think it's a big risk on Miami's part. $4 million, is that what they're saying?
Yeah, $4 million.
Yeah.
They're hoping
For
they
1
got their
year.
next Cam Ward.
Who obviously did so much for him this past year.
I would have gone to Miami, and as much as I dislike the Hurricanes, I would have gone to Miami for maybe even $1 million.
Oh.
And my throwing elbow has not been injured.
I guess for the money, it makes sense, but I don't know if that system that doesn't fit. That doesn't mesh well. with
It doesn't. The
Carson
whole
Beck.
thing.
The whole thing does not.
As
feels-
a Georgia fan, Georgia's my number 2 team. As a Georgia fan, it just feels really slimy the way it all kind of went down and happened. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
But to each their own. I mean, good for him for expanding his career and making that money. And
We'll see, man.
Take the
Maybe-
$4
And
million.
I wish him all the best.
Maybe his
Because
draft
he
stock
wasn't going to make
does.
$4 million in the NFL.
no, and I will not be
Yeah, no,
cheering for
yeah.
him. That's for sure. Not on Miami.
Okay, and now this group of sports experts who did not have good advice or good picks for who was going to kind of win the national championship. We're sitting here, we're making predictions about Carson Beck. And
Absolutely.
let's see how we talk this time next year. And
Yeah.
we'll see. Beck will be like an All-American. He'll win the Heisman, and Miami will
maybe,
go
maybe.
go.
Miami's
I
going to
hope not.
Miami. Miami
yeah.
always Miami's. They
Cam
always
Ward,
pull
who?
a
It's like
Miami.
Okay.
Clemson used to Clemson.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll be able to talk about this next week before the national championship game. But Ohio State, they are playing on a different level right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They
they
just
are.
they
that's
just
going to be
are.
a good game. Notre Dame, Ohio. That's going to be a good game. Another defensive game.
I
I
think
think.
it'll be a
Oh,
popular game.
Oh, yeah.
I think Ohio
Nothing
State.
will match the convicts versus the criminals.
That's true. That
The
was
Catholics versus the
Catholics.
convicts.
That's right. Back in that was
That
was
was
a great
it.
documentary, by the way, on
Yes.
Netflix too
Yeah.
about that. But so we'll have a chance to kind of preview that game. But I'm telling you, at the way that I thought Ohio State just manhandled Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It was a defensive battle too, but the way it was just, I didn't think Texas was ever in the game really. They just couldn't.
Yeah, you have to protect the ball, and that was
Yeah.
the issue.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I thought it was a passing interference. Well, it should have been passing interference on the back end of the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the next play is where the fumble and
Yeah.
the scoop score.
That was a career-defining play right
Yes.
there for Sawyer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about draft stock that it increased. That would do it for that kid. But Notre Dame and Ohio State for the national championship. I would have never thought it. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a little more football we're going to talk about in a little bit, but there's some really not necessarily breaking news, unless on Adrian's computer there's a breaking news piece right now. But We got the whole Leonard Hamilton
Oh yeah.
situation with those 6 players from last season's team that claim they each are owed $250,000. Explain the whole thing to us, Adrian.
All right, so just in case anybody been up underneath a rock or something like that for the past few weeks, there's been 6 former FSU basketball players are suing Leonard Hamilton, right? They're accusing him of not paying them in NIL money, right? They're saying this is worth $1.5 million, okay? Now, the players, Darren Green, Deontay Green, Cameron Fletcher, Josh Nickelberry, Primo Spears, and Jalen Warley, they filed a 20-page complaint in Leon County. They say that Hamilton promised them $250,000 each.
Yeah.
Didn't get it.
Oh.
Right? So at this point, we're trying to figure out, well, was this all just hearsay? Was this just verbal, just agreements here? Like, it doesn't sound like they have anything on
Are there
paper.
text messages?
Now, there are
though?
text messages that's out. In their complaint, they screenshotted a couple of text messages. It doesn't exactly say. Now, I'm not going to say exactly who they're from, but they claim it's from Hamilton himself, saying, and I quote, "I'm going to get you your money. This is going to come from business partners of the university."
Yeah.
How y'all like about that? What you think? That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Eric, what are your thoughts about this? And I know you have some thoughts about this.
Well, funny that you should say that because
Oh, yeah.
Worley,
Mhm.
his younger brother plays with my cousin,
Mm.
so I kind of know him.
Okay.
Mm.
You know, so
You got an insider here. So, what does that mean? Does that mean anything? You can't just tease us with that information.
So how good was that? So I never even really watched them play last year, but it was some top guys here. Or they?
well, last year's team didn't do as well as they should have. They underperformed.
That's right. They underperformed.
And when it comes to the NIL, and this is just my take on it, you really can't fault the head coach because it's a business deal. And the way it's set up here, especially here in the state of Florida, the head coach can kind of negotiate something for you, but he's not the one that actually gets the payments done. That does come from, like you say, business partners and everything like that, because there's a fund that, the university has to support the NIL. So
Yeah, you're talking about like NIL collective groups
Right.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
there might have been, conversations of, hey, you guys are going to get, $250,000. But, until there's concrete evidence, like I said, I know a little something, but I can't say too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe it's the conversations where, I'm going to get you your money, but 250. That's such a. It's interesting that all 6 say the same amount, right?
Right.
So it's kind of weird too.
Yeah.
The university has been very
they've
very
been-
detailed in their statement, right, Adrian? They're speaking to every point of the complaint in that response, that detailed 19-page response from the university, right?
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, they're. I mean, they're.
It's a 2-paragraph or 3-paragraph statement.
They're pretty much they're being
Yeah.
quiet about the whole thing, just saying, hey, we're going to look into it. But as of this point, like we've done what we were supposed to do.
Yeah.
We haven't like broken any laws. Like we've went about it, correctly. That's basically what to just summarize it up. But I think it was interesting about Hamilton. He took over the program in 2002. And I think he got up to, I think the farthest he went was the Elite Eight. I think that's the closest.
they got to the Elite Eight.
He'd been
Yeah, that was probably 5 years ago.
2016,
They got to the Elite Eight.
So, I mean.
They've got some banners hanging up in the tuck, so yeah.
Got a couple of, but
Yeah.
no
Final Fours.
Yeah, no Final Fours, no natty out of that.
It was the COVID. Was it which
The
year was
COVID
it
year
that we thought
were
that
going to
we were?
that was the team that was going to win the championship
Yeah.
because they were like,
And then at the very, like basically March Madness kind of
Canceled
those
the rest of it.
injuries.
Yeah.
Those injuries in
Yeah.
the 2021. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the following season. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, this season they are. Are we still 0-2 in the conference? I mean, I'm sorry. Are we still winless?
I
we
believe
are
we were
2-3 in conference
two and
play.
3. Okay, 2 and 3 in
Yes.
conference play.
6
I
and
don't
2
know.
at home.
I just wonder if how this
Yeah.
plays out. Does that do we look at his contract and maybe we say deuces. Like, what do we do about
Well,
Hamilton?
you have to think that Coach Hamilton would love to go out on a big season, right? He's got to be getting close to retirement, just based on age, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a young-looking, older guy,
Yes.
but yeah.
But
And-
if we've learned though, if you hang out until you have that winning season, you might be hanging out for way longer.
Bobby is
Yeah.
kind of the precursor to what you're talking about, right?
Oh no, don't
No,
talk
we're
about Bobby.
talking
No.
about Norvell.
Oh, we're talking about Norvell. Okay. Yeah.
If you're going to hang out until that winning season,
Yeah,
you know.
there you go.
Yeah.
Let's hope that we have a winning season ahead of us. But
Let's see. I
so
mean,
so
this
yeah,
is-
so there's a lot more to be said.
There's a lot more to
with
be
this-
said. I
with
mean,
this,
it's actually I've been in contact with the player's attorney, and he's not saying too much either.
Yeah.
But it's all fresh. It's all new. We'll see what exactly happens. But I think this right here, depending on what happens, is going to dictate what happens the future of Hamilton at Florida State.
Well, probably so. That would be an unfortunate end if it doesn't end well, kind of a thing too.
Yeah.
So because I think everybody you gotta love Coach Ham. He's a good guy.
What I liked about Coach Ham, he wasn't stuck in one way. When he got there, our basketball team was just about defense. Nothing but defense. If you scored more than 60 points on Florida State, you had a lot of points.
Yeah.
He changed with the times. When basketball evolved, the three-point shot became more popular. Now his team, he has a rotation of 12 people that actually plays. And that makes us a lot harder to defend and play against when the team is actually running.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, he brought in at least 6 new players this season, right? So he did. I think the team's got like 8 new players. And they've got a pretty decent lineup right now.
And
So
you're playing in the ACC. I mean, that's one of
that
the top
is-
conferences
that
when you talk
is-
about
it's
basketball.
tough. Yeah,
so
when you're talking
it's
about
tough.
Yeah, this year the SEC seems to be taking over.
Let's
basketball.
not talk about SEC.
Yeah, I know.
We can talk about SEC. We'll find out. The SEC was supposed to win.
Overrated.
Yeah, was supposed to win the national championship. Here it is.
They said that last year, too.
You talked about Coach Ham being a coach that's is willing to change. Hey, I think you got to say Norvell's willing to change. He brought in Malzahn. He's ready to hand off the offensive play calling. Malzahn's has come in, and Norvell will be handing off the play calling. So and
Let's just hope he's willing to make some changes, like beyond coaching staff, like plan how he need big changes.
Well, we've had a decent, better than decent recruitment from the portal. I mean, we're in the top 7 or 8 teams now for overall recruiting.
That was our Achilles heel last year.
Yeah, it was.
Cromartie Jr. I hear he's supposed to be wrapping up and making a decision. I think this week, I believe.
It is this week.
Yeah.
So
Winston's little
that's another
brother,
one.
a legacy player.
Yeah, like we got there's some names now.
There are,
There's some
and-
names.
Yeah, but names. I mean,
There's only
do so
one.
much.
There's only one that actually kind of almost lived up to the hype, and that was the brother kickers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
The
yeah.
brother
Yeah.
kickers.
Well, and this guy likes to always talk about Dion, and Dion's top recruiter now has come from Colorado here,
Yes,
Devin
he has.
Rispris.
Yes,
So what do
he
you
has.
think? Is he a good recruiter?
Yeah, he is. He
and,
actually is.
recruits and can recruit in Florida. I mean, that's the key.
That's
right?
why Dion gets
Yeah.
a lot of those Florida kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before Colorado is at Florida A&M University. So right
Speaking of
across the
Florida
way.
A&M, do we have any news really kind of since the season ending from FAMU?
So other than so they got one quarterback out of Central Michigan, Tyler Jefferson.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's actually, I watched him, a couple of times, a couple of games. He's actually solid. I think he'll be a good fit.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I think
good, good.
he's a good manager of the ball. He doesn't, have a lot of turnovers, and he doesn't force, passes.
Yeah, I see here now. ESPN ranked him 24th best dual threat quarterback in the nation at the time when he was signed. So, I mean, we'll see, man. He had offers from Bethune in South Carolina. So, yeah, I think that would be a good fit. We were just talking about before we left, just if FAMU can try to build up that roster and replace some of those guys who's leaving. So, that's good.
Well, fingers crossed. I mean, fingers crossed for both teams. I mean, we'll kind of continue to talk some football as the year progresses because, we'll be talking about spring ball and all that.
About what?
Not
8 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
In 8 weeks.
Yeah. But in the meantime, it's fully into basketball season here for the Knolls, men's and women. We're just talking about the Knolls conference record. They since we were last here, end of the year and early this year, the men's team has kind of been up and down. But coming off the latest game was a loss to Clemson. Pretty resounding loss to Clemson by 20 points. Yeah,
By 22.
A spanking.
Hey, but we beat Miami.
There we go. There we
Yeah,
go.
it was a beat down on the Canes though. Before that,
And then
but,
Clemson just humbled us.
yeah.
But we've been having a problem with Clemson a lot, especially in basketball.
Yeah.
They'll usually come here and beat us, and then we'll go there and beat them.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that about Clemson.
We have us in Clemson just in every sport.
Yeah.
It's like.
But a couple of weeks ago, I know both the men's and Syracuse must have brought both men's and women's down on the same plane because men's and women's played Syracuse the same weekend, and we beat them both men and women beat them. So
good games.
But yeah, I mean we're seriously now you're going to be deep into I think every game from this point forward is a conference game, right?
Yeah.
So. You talked about that. Yeah, Hamilton's using really the whole bench.
Yeah.
Well, there may be a couple of folks on that bench that don't get into the serious rotation.
You mean the ones that sit like we do?
Yeah, the ones that sit like we do at the end of the bench.
Okay.
But yeah, if they can just feed. Ewan is finally kind of seems to be got his real basketball legs underneath him.
Mm-hmm.
He's learning how to play with the big boys, not in junior college.
Yeah.
If they can feed Malik, I think really kind of where he goes now, it's going to be where the team goes. It seems like to me.
Yeah.
We've got Pitt coming up, Georgia Tech coming up in the next week or so. So
that Pitt game is going to be
Physical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very physical.
Yeah.
Yes.
That Syracuse game was physical too. I thought it was. That's why
it was quite chippy.
It was very chippy, and I was really proud of the fact that we stayed fairly disciplined. But there was some banging going on.
There was some elbows being thrown.
As Charles Barkley would say, they were banging going on. Yeah.
It was his type of basketball.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The women are 3-2 in conference, and those two losses are from the last few days.
The West Coast
on
trip.
the West Coast. Yeah.
Yeah, 13-4 overall. That's not bad.
Yeah,
No,
that's
not bad. I like
I
it.
think Coach Brick has got a really good team tonight. Latson is just an all-star.
AP Player of the Week.
Yeah. She's unbelievable, and really how she goes. I know Michaela KK is she's in the middle, and how she goes, kind of the team will go. But it seems like every game, if Tanaya Latson has an off game, which she did against Cal, I know, man, she was
Stanford also.
Yeah,
she didn't play that well against.
Yeah.
I think it was I don't want to blame it on jet lag, but this is their first time actually making that cross country
going
trip.
that far. Yeah, that's right.
Usually
exactly.
they don't. Usually they just go up and down the coast here. They don't go west.
Yeah.
When
that's
they go out to Texas,
three time zones.
You go to
switch,
Texas, it's
yeah,
not that bad.
yeah.
But when you go all the way out to California, it makes a big difference.
But they've got some girls that they brought in this year, Cindy Bowles and some folks that. But OMG, Mario Gordon,
OMG.
Denai Latson,
Yeah.
A.K. Timpson. That is a trio that really could take this team to the ACC championship. I think they really, So I'm hoping that they start peaking at the right time here in the coming weeks.
When they actually when they slow down,
Yeah.
they're hard to stop. When they play fast, they get sloppy. And that's their Achilles heel, and it showed against the Stanford and Cal.
And when they start just depending on the three too is when really, I mean, sometimes if you're hot, you're hot. But
when they get sloppy, they think, okay, we can shoot threes and catch up in a game, and then it just
that
snowballs.
doesn't always work.
Yeah.
So we got Clemson and the Canes coming up for the ladies.
Yes.
Here in the coming week or so. So again, deep into conference play. Go Noles on the court. We will hope for the best coming forward.
Noles.
Yeah. Of course, we got another school just across town, FAMU.
Across the street.
Just almost across the street from us here. Yeah, absolutely. FAMU Rattlers, go Rattlers! I wish I had my rattle, man. I tell you, I love when they announce the Go Rattlers.
That's right.
Men's team is 0-2 in conference play right now.
Yeah,
They're struggling. They're 3-10 overall. So
Yeah.
to say they're struggling is an understatement.
I
Yeah.
will say this: the men's team, they didn't play a soft schedule to start.
Oh man, no, yeah,
They played all the heavyweights coming out of the gate.
yeah. I would say the only one that or the two I'd say right now of the last 5 games, which are losses. Tarleton State, small
Right.
school in Texas,
Yeah.
but then correct me if they lost. But they played Utah, BYU, and SMU. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, all.
And the Gators.
Yeah, and the Gators. That's right. Yeah, not afraid to play the Gators. Not we're not either here at the Tuck. Never afraid to play the Gators.
Now I watched that FAMU Bethune game.
Did you?
Yeah, I was at that game. Good crowd. I mean, it was very competitive. I thought we shot the ball well. I mean, from 3, but we have to figure out a way to like attack the basket. I think we struggle with that. We get we get hemmed up or whatever around the perimeter. If we can find out a way to, I'm not sure if we need to set more screens or maybe dial up some motion guys and then have them to sort of sweep back up underneath. But it's like we're taking bad shots when it's like 1 or 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
FAMU's offense is it operates at 50 feet of the court. It's 90 feet, but they only get to 50 feet and they can shoot well. But then they get closer to the rim, it's problems.
Yeah, like it's just sort of just throwing up ill-advised shots is just you're always going to be playing from behind. That's your problem. You're just throwing up just bad shots.
Well, they got Grambling State and University of Arkansas Pine Bluff coming up. If they have been priming themselves with some of these tough games, it's time to start winning, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The women on the FAMU side are a little bit better. They're doing a little better than the men.
Yes.
1-1 in conference, 4-9 overall. But still, it's the excitement that I had just 5 minutes ago about both the men and the women on FSU. It's tough to get that energy. And I'm sure it's the same way at FAMU home games. The women draw so much fewer people in the arena.
Yeah.
It's got to be tough if you're not playing in front of a nice big home crowd for any of these teams.
Yeah.
But ladies on the FAMU side, they both men and women played SMU last most recent game and they lost.
Southern, they played Southern.
Yeah. Oh, that was Southern. I was thinking it was SMU. My bad.
It was Southern.
Yeah.
And
their last 5 games, they won 4.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
the women are not doing too bad.
Yeah, they're not bad. I mean, you have Bridget Gordon, Hall of Famer. I mean,
Yeah.
Bridget Gordon, she's awesome.
Uh-huh.
That's the head coach. So she's turning that program around. You can see where they're becoming a little more physical and stuff. But I think it's just like mechanics, just the basics. Make sure they protect and hold on to the ball. I think
they get sloppy.
Yeah, they get a little sloppy at times, especially when they're down and they're trying to come back from behind. They get a little jittery and stuff, and so we got Grambling State next.
Yeah.
This should be a good one. Mississippi Valley, University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, all conference games. So they want to make a push for that SWAC tournament. This is
It's
button
time
up.
to do it. It's time to
button
do
it
it.
up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that's. Is this thing over now? Or have we talked enough
doggone
sports?
whistle, I tell you
that
what.
whistle, that doggone whistle shuts me down. But real quick, the one thing that we didn't talk about, we ought to talk about real quick, is the NFL playoffs. I mean, we had some decent games over the weekend.
Yes.
If you are a Baltimore Ravens fan,
Lamar.
you gotta let Lamar
So good.
and
So
Henry.
good.
I mean, it was. they gave up Pittsburgh gave up almost 300 rushing yards. 300 rushing yards against the Ravens. So, Ravens are going to be flying. Hey, flying high,
Flying high,
Yeah.
yes.
My
And
Buffalo Bills,
is stampeding.
That Buffalo is stampeding. and I don't know that the Chiefs may get knocked off of their pedestal here. They
please
really
knock
might.
them right on off.
They really might.
Yes. I think everybody's tired of Taylor-mania.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Taylor-mania has definitely died down
It's
here.
Patrick
so,
Mahomes for me. I'm just like, dude.
It's
Yeah.
Taylor-mania.
But I would really love to see, and we're not that far off from the Super Bowl, but love to see.
February 9th.
Is it really?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Detroit Lion, Buffalo Bill Super Bowl. That's what I am hoping for. Yeah. Detroit Lions.
I think it's going to be Lions,
Baltimore
Bills,
could be
or Ravens.
It could be
two
Baltimore.
of the three of them.
It definitely could be Baltimore.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'm hearing what is actually now closing music to this stinking podcast. First one of 2025. We kind of caught up on a lot of stuff.
Yes.
There's still a lot of stuff ahead of us in 2025. Got any New Year's resolutions for the Tally Benchwarmers?
No, I mean, hey, we're going to keep pushing out, man. Keep cranking it. I mean, we're going to keep our seat on the bench nice and warm.
We're going to keep the bench warm. Eric,
Yeah.
any New Year's resolution for you?
I'm waiting for my NIL deal.
Okay. How about you? You got to figure out how to fund the NIL deal, right?
Yeah, that would be great. I'd also love to be able to do a podcast for a winning season for our Seminole football team.
Oh, that would be a great.
That would be
thing,
fun.
Yeah,
That would be
for all sports.
We're
Yes.
undefeated
For all
this year,
sports.
though. I mean,
so far
There
we're
you go.
undefeated.
That's right. Go Noles.
That's right.
Hey,
So are the Rattlers.
if you got any questions, if you want to contact us at tallybench@wfsu.org, that's the way to reach out to us. My New Year's resolution is to be on the bench with these fine people and get rid of this neck thing. This neck beard. So, hey, thanks for joining us, and we will see you again next week.